Long ago, the kingdom of Lithus blazed like a crown of light upon the world. Its rivers shone with gold, and its people sang to the heavens. But pride is a flame that burns too bright, and when the gods turned away, the fires of Lithus fell to ash. In the ruins of creation, 5 sacred flames were born, the Emberstones, each a shard of the gods' dying breath, hidden, scattered, and waiting for one heart brave enough to find them. The heavens trembled as light and shadow clashed in the final war. The skies broke, the seas boiled, and silence fell upon the world. The gods were gone, and Lithus was left to die. But from the silence came a new light, the light of a new Lithus, left upon the cold stone steps of a broken temple. A child with no name, no family, no past. Only the whisper of destiny wrapped in rags. Years turned, and that child grew into a man, Kael Ardent, a wanderer scarred by the dust of 100 storms. He knew nothing of gods or glory, only the ache of survival and the echo of something calling his name one night. The wind carried him to the last temple still breathing, a sanctuary half buried in ruin. And there, in the heart of the silence, a flame still burned, small, fading, alive. When Kael knelt before it, the fire stirred, and from its light came a voice older than time. Kael, lost son of Lithus, will you bear what the gods have forgotten? The flame leapt and seared his heart with a mark of fire. Agony became awakening. The light of the ancient gods now burned within his chest. In that moment, Kael saw it, a world drowned in blood and shadow, the screams of the forgotten echoing across the sky, and in the distance, the faint cry of the last Emberstone still waiting to be found. "Seek the stones," whispered the fire, "restore what was lost. For if the light fades, all will fall into eternal night." Kael rose from the ashes of the past, wrapped his cloak tight, and stepped into the storm, with no crown, no weapon, only faith, and the fire now living in his veins. Across broken plains and dead forests he walked, a pilgrim of the impossible. His footprints trailed through dust older than memory, and still the light within him refused to die. At the crossroads where the earth itself bled fire, Kael stopped. The air reeked of rot and sorrow. Something ancient was waiting for him in the dark. They came, creatures born of nightmare, smoke with teeth, hatred with claws. They moved like whispers, feeding on his fear. But Kael did not run. The mark upon his chest blazed, and fire answered. Golden light exploded from his hands, cleaving through the dark like the dawn itself. The shadows screamed as the flame of Lithus roared back to life. When the storm fell silent, Kael stood alone among ashes. His breath trembled, his hands still burned. For the first time, he understood. He carried the will of the gods. Word spread like light through darkness. In ruined villages, Kael lit fires that hadn't burned in decades. Children watched him with wide eyes, and old men whispered the name they had forgotten. Hero. His journey led him next into the desert of glass, a wasteland of shimmering death, where the sun cut like a blade. Beneath each step, reflections of his fears stared back at him. From beneath the glass, the desert rose, a beast of molten stone and rage, the guardian of the first Emberstone. Its roar shook the sands, its eyes burned like Kael fought with fire and faith. When his strength broke, the flame within guided its hand, and with one final strike, the beast shattered, revealing the first Emberstone, glowing like the heart of creation. The land trembled. The glass melted into golden sand, and new life bloomed where death had slept. Lithus was healing, one ember at a time. Northward he walked, across an ocean of frozen ghosts. Beneath the ice, the faces of the fallen watched him pass. Yet still he pressed on, the fire in his chest defying the cold of eternity. In the mountains of iron, Kael met his truest enemy, himself, his reflection twisted in metal, whispering his doubts. "You are no hero," it said, "only the boy who was left behind." Kael's fire dimmed, but did not die. One by one, the stones answered his call, gold, red, blue, their light circling him like living suns. He had become the vessel of the gods' last hope. But deep beneath the world, something moved. The shadow, the first sin, the hunger that devoured even gods, had awakened. It rose like a storm of grief, blotting out the sky. Upon the ruins of the capital, Kael faced the end. Light against darkness, man against eternity. Every breath was pain, every heartbeat a promise. He was the flame, and the flame would not die. The 5 Emberstones united, and their fire broke the sky open. The shadow screamed as dawn returned to the world. Rivers flowed again, trees awoke, and the first bird sang in 1,000 years. In the quiet after the storm, Kael knelt upon the new earth. His body was broken, his flame fading, but his heart was at peace. He smiled, for Lithus lived again. The people returned, fields bloomed, bells rang, and stories of the fireborn spread from mountain to sea. The kingdom of Lithus was reborn, not through gods, but through one man's courage. And though Kael's body turned to dust, the flame did not fade, for light never truly dies. It only waits within the hearts of those brave enough to rise again. Hero of Lithus, one man, one flame, a world reborn,